This is a show about facing fear, unlocking courage, and taking action.
Courage isn't necessarily a daunting thing.
It's going to give you more purpose. It's going to give you more drive.
It feels like making a courageous decision is going to get you closer to who you aspire to be.
It's knowledge plus faith plus action equals courage.
I got to where I was going multiple times. I felt like I'd arrived at the destination only to look around and be like, wait, everything's exactly the same. And I would say, you know, my main motivator back then was like probably money, maybe accolades.
Yes, that's the lead.
Okay, got it. I have to say got it.
Got it. Hey, you look good. You know, this is unfair for the audio peeps. They don't get to see. You've got this like 1984 Michael Jackson curl of a hair.
I mean, none of it's intentional. I'll just let you know that.
Well, it looks good. I'm, as a guy that has hair in all the wrong places, I'm really jealous.
I didn't do it on purpose. It just appears there.
Hey, I'm so happy. Like it's so cool to root for you, and I wish I got to see you more. And I wished that, you know, somehow, like, remember in Mad Magazine where you could like bring the pages together, and there was another image. I wish we could bring the coats together. So I could be just a little bit closer to you. How are you, man? How's life?
Everything's good, man. I'm chilling. It's springtime in New York, so no real complaints there. Riding my bike around town, which is great.
Is that normal fare now? Are you anti-subway?
I'm not anti-subway. I've never really been. I mean, I take the subway when I need to, but generally speaking, I'll take a city bike or my own bike, or I'll drive. I have a car, but I'm like an above ground kind of guy. But it's not because I don't like the subway. I just think it's nice to be outside.
I mean, that's so ironic to me because your brain is so like below, in a good way, ground. It's like you go like I like look, this is called the Courageous Podcast, right? So like when you think about the stories you're now putting out into the ether, and they're all different forms, are you just like, great, cool, I think that'll land on to the next, or are you like, oh shit, I'm really nervous about this one? Or at this point you just sort of know when you've got like a really good story?
I definitely don't know ever. I do not have a real fear of failure. I kind of just have failed so many times and taken it on the chin and eaten shit sandwiches a lot. So, you know, people only see the successes, you know, it's like a very common thing, but like, yeah, I've got so many failures under my belt and I still take the L's. Like I'm still taking L's. You just don't see them because they're not like visible,
Yeah.
but I'm still taking the L's. It's great. I don't mind it. I think it's a part of the process. I think with some ideas though, you know that they're a great idea, like with Keep the Meter Running, which is the
So
taxi
good.
show. That one I knew that it was a great idea. I didn't know it was going to strike such a chord, but I knew it was a great idea and it would find some sort of audience. Subway Takes was more of a surprise hit. I thought that would be good, but I didn't think it would like really take hold so quickly. But then, I mean, there's other stuff like my music, which is a fairly new thing for me. Like, I think I released my first song ever probably a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. You know, that is still in its infancy, I suppose. I just did my first concert ever, which was really, really fucking fun. Doing another
Amazing.
one in June
So
9th.
let's do this.
Yeah.
Pie chart your life right now, like, and don't, you know, I don't need to know like sex 6%, but I do need to know, or 2% or 22%. Yeah, okay, I'm curious. Add sex in there, but like, give me the rundown on what's content creation, business version of you, on the bike, concepting. I don't know, music. Give me the percentages.
Mhm.
On
I
the
mean,
pie.
it you know, not having a boss, it's kind of like I do all the things every single day. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like honestly, I had to shoot this weekend. I shot on I shot on Sunday and Monday for probably 10 hours each day. And then I don't think I did anything on Tuesday. I like literally just hung out and tried not to work. Um, and then, Wednesday was like taking care of like taxes, which are late, and logistical things. And then, yeah, so it's honestly, I'd say like 100% fun. Actually,
Yeah.
no, the taxes were not fun. So like 80% fun. And that's like the most important thing to me, is that what I'm doing is having fun. But okay, let's really think about this. I'd say like it depends. It just depends on the month, but like let's just generally say like 30% content creation slash production. I would call it production, not content creation. 30% production, maybe 10% pre and post production, 20% trying to make deal making, 30% socializing, networking, meeting people, hanging out, having fun, 6% sex. Just kidding. 0% sex. I'm on a semen retention program these days.
Do
I'm
you
just
own that
kidding.
URL, semenretention.com?
I'm completely joking. Anyone who believes in semen retention is an idiot. I don't know if you've had people on your podcast that talk about it, but
That was actually our last episode. We just crushed this exact topic.
no.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. Well, there are podcast. I just saw like Adrian Grenier from Entourage on some podcast talking about like how semen retention has changed his life, and I was just like,
Good Lord.
what a sad fall from grace for my boy. Could have
Yeah.
had it all. Could have had it all, but he went down the wrong TikTok rabbit hole, ended up on the Andrew Tate like feed,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't know if he's going all the way, but
How do,
he has
how,
some things he's got to figure out.
how do you avoid the Andrew Tate feed?
I just don't watch the videos.
Let's talk rich parents. I mean,
Like real ones or music or my song.
no, your song. Like let's
Oh,
talk
okay.
let's talk the layering around the whole thing, because there's nuance and layers, and like there's comedy, and I'm curious also of your feedback loop. Like how do you know? Because like what I really want to say is I fucking love this. Right. And then like, okay, box checked, keep doing more of it. Is that part of the feedback loop too?
Totally. I mean, like for me, music started. That was my first hot, like semi-serious song. Like it's funny, it's tongue in cheek, but like it's a song that you'd want to listen to more than once. Like I wasn't going for like a viral hit. I was like, I want to put out a song that I could listen to at a party or a barbecue or at the beach or in my car or on a bike ride or on a walk. Like I want to make a real song. I had made, I think, like 4 or 5 comedy songs, more in the Lonely Island sort of like
Yeah.
genre,
Mm.
which I love those guys, and I think it's amazing. But when I started making the songs, I was like, oh, another comedic output. I'm a comedian. That's my like comedian first, and so I was like, oh, let me add this to my like comedic output. And the more I wrote and the more I sang and kind of worked with my producer, the more I just felt a magnetic pull to like make songs that are not funny, that are maybe smart in this way, that are like tongue in cheek and kind of the moment, or kind of like
Mhm.
parallel to the discussion and the discourse happening around the internet. That like my biggest inspiration's the internet. You know what I mean? Like that's if someone were to say, what are you inspired by? I'd say the internet and what I see on there, and because I'm in it. So Rich Parents was the first song that I put a lot of effort into the music video. I put a lot of effort into the production and the mixing. My producer and bandmate, Tyler McCauley, has been my A1 from day one. He's the first person I texted when I said, I want to make music. And he was the first person that said, I'm in. And yeah, that has now evolved. Like I had no interest in playing a live show. And now that evolved into having a full band, multiple songs written. We did our first show at Baby's All Right on a Monday night and had over 100 people come. And then we have our next show on June 9th and a new single coming out called Entertainment, which again is inspired by the internet, right? Entertainment, but is like it's a fucking punk rock song, and it like can stand alone even if you're not an internet person, you know?
I'm curious how ritualized you are on going to your inspiration, meaning are you just like, oh, it's not that, dude? You're giving me way too much credit. Like when I have free time, I go on the internet, or you're like, I do my best curious scrolling between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Like when do you when do you go do that?
Well, it's not like, at least for the music, it's more of a feeling about the internet
Okay, the
rather
actual
than like than the actual feed or the content that I'm receiving. You know, it's like rich parents is it's a response to the fact that I see so many people doing so many things that are so cool on the internet, and only to find out that like they're bankrolled by their family. And
right,
that's fine. I like rich people. They work with me for free and cheap because they're rich, which is awesome. And I love them. And the song is not a hateful song. It's like it's just funny. It's like everyone you thought was cool just has really rich parents, which is true. And this new song Entertainment is, I've oftentimes felt like everything I do, everything I see, everything I read, everything I think about revolves around entertainment, right? Like the way data is now presented as infographics and like short form animations. It's not data, it's entertainment. And
right.
everything is entertainment. So like that song was also inspired by a trip to San Diego, which do you live there?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. Okay,
It's
all
kind of an
good.
it's kind of an anti-San Diego song too. I mean, I never say anything in it. I never say anything anti-San Diego, but I went to San Diego and, you know, it was just kind of a culture shock. It was my first time ever in San Diego.
So yeah, give it to me. Let me hear it from your perspective.
I was with the wrong people, the wrong crowd. No, just kidding. I was like at a bar and they were playing Little John and everyone was having so much fun and it was like this college party, but it wasn't college people. It was like my age. And they were so free and so happy and like sucking face in the corner. And I was like, damn, like entertainment. Like it's just a Thursday night and the club is packed and people are listening to Little John. And I felt really uncomfortable because I was like, no one's trying to be cool. No one even cares about anything, actually. Like no one even like people were in flip-flops. And it was just like a moment of like, damn, like I wish I had that freedom.
That is San Diego, and I'll tell you that I like process. So I like taking real life and then applying it as if it was process. And I'll give you an example. Like, all right, where can I go for no real responsibility and or freedom? Where can I go have freedom? New York City, right? Yes, home of the free. Like, you want to do anything at 4 a.m., you can find it. What time do you want to go to dinner? You decide. 11 p.m., 1 a.m., whatever. There are plenty hours in the day at night to do what you need to do in New York. But from my lens, once you get up to 30 years old, decision tree number one, do you settle down, air quoting time, or do you want to prolong freedom? Prolong freedom, because I'm not living in Hoboken and driving in. Prolong freedom, move to San Diego. Boom. You now have another decade of freedom. Now, guess what? At 40, the good news is I did get married between 30 and 40, but my lens was, oh shit, I got to that line again. Do I want to prolong freedom? Next move, Hawaii. So you can like continue to do this exercise, but it's curious to hear you say that. I think I was even surprised after living in New York City that I fell in love with the non bullshitness, the realness of San Diego. I thought I was going to LA, and then was like, wait a minute, people live here. I want to live here. How do I live here? But so it's okay if you knock on it. It's like I fully surrender to the realities of flip flop.
Yeah, it's not that serious either. Like nothing I say or do is that serious. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I've oftentimes said that Chicago is the worst city in America. Do I care at all about
yeah.
Chicago? Do I even think about Chicago? No, I just say it because it's funny. And I might even say it about five different cities in one dinner just because it's hilarious. Like at the end of the day, literally nothing matters and except for fun in
Yeah,
my world.
I
In
love
my
that.
world, and I would apply that to a family and your children, which I don't have, but when I do, number one priority, are we having fun? Relationships, number one priority, are we having fun? Work, number one priority, are we having fun? This is new, by the way, for me. This is probably like
Mm.
a 4-year-old thing where my life has dramatically become better and I have become a better performer and a better citizen and a better friend and brother and son and all these things because I've put fun at the top of my list. Like it's literally it is my number one in the decision tree is like, is it fun? And I would judge a relationship based on that. I would judge a career change based on that. I would judge a city change or a location change based on that.
Again, I wish this is the problem, right? Like we're on autopilot and we think we need to do things and we're being robotic and we're going through our days and even with courageous, and again, I think if you don't know me and you hear the word courage, you'd think I'd have 0% body fat, by the way, and be a Navy SEAL. But like, it's no different than what you're talking about. I'm trying to design a life where I can work with people that want to go for it, that want to push, that want to stretch, that look at the L's the way you do. They're not L's at all, right? They're L's perceived by others. Okay, maybe you lose your shirt money wise on certain things. But like, when you're in it, right, for fun and the long haul and everything that comes with it, that's how I feel about courage. It's like, are people intentionally designing their life? Have they created those filters for going, this is a yes, this is a hard no? So I appreciate the way you look at it. So what happened 4 years ago? Do you feel like you were like anxiety or pissed off at yourself or where you wanted to be or like what was going on? Let's lie down on the couch, shall we? Have a conversation.
I think it's one of those things where you get to where you're going and turns out you didn't go anywhere. And that's what happened. I got to where I was going multiple times, like at least 3 times. I felt like I'd arrived at the destination only to look around and be like, wait, it's everything's exactly the same. And I would say, my main motivator back then was like probably money, maybe accolades from the outside rather than the inside. So I found that doing things for money was not the right move for me. I think it's the right move for some people. I just was watching Wolf of Wall Street last night and I was like, this guy likes money. And some people do. And
Right.
that makes some people happy. That's good. Honestly, like everyone has their own bag. And for me, like money still factors into the equation, but it's second instead of first.
You know what's crazy? Like, I just love how the world works right now because I was thinking back on my journey, and I'm not going to pretend like you, like that I'm so successful. Like, it's messy and we're in it. And I think the last time I actually saw you not in a square box was at South by Southwest.
Was
And
it?
it's been a fucking long time. And at that South by Southwest, this is the thing they find funny. I went and saw Mark Duplass,
Mhm.
Brothers talk. And Duplass is the whole point of his talk. And at this point, they were it. Like
Mhm.
we're like, we love his stuff. And he kept saying over and over again, his whole talk was the cavalry is not coming.
Yeah.
The cavalry is not like you just have to keep going. This fictitious thing that you think is coming is not coming. You just and what I for you it's like leading with fun and joy now. And it's like, wow, if it entertains me, I'm in. I'm
Totally.
in. I'm
Uh,
in.
by the way, the Duplass brothers have a really great book. I don't know if you've read it, but that is a chapter, and it's called "The Cavalry Is Not Coming," and it's kind of about how in Hollywood no one's gonna save you. You got to save yourself, and yeah, that's definitely a real thing. I think people have different motivations, right? And I'm still motivated by money. There's no world where I'm like I don't care about it. And I'm still motivated by accolades because if no one sees my work, there is a group of artists. There's a mindset of artists who don't care at all about the audience, don't care if anyone sees their work. And sometimes they get rich and famous and they're like, well, fuck everyone. And unfortunately, maybe fortunately, I'm not like that. Like, I'm trying to make commercially available, popular things. And but here's the thing is like, I'm not doing it because of that. Like,
Right.
I hope that that's an outcome in the same way that I hope that money's an outcome, but it's not the end all be all if one or the other doesn't happen.
I feel like we're having a conversation about relevance. You know, like I do worry about relevance for me. Like I worry about money too. I worry about, but I just want to stay on top of my game and continue to be put in a position where I can impact people.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I have this thing I say. It's like, I'm not really a carpe diem guy. I'm a decennium carpe guy. Seize the decade.
Ah.
You know, I definitely subscribe to slow cooked. I mean, look, in the moment, if I'm on a stage and doing that keynote world, just like you probably feel about your content when it finally hits, of course you hope it lands. But it almost kind of goes back to the L's conversation. It's like, so what? I took a L in a 10-year run,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm trying to make a larger impact here and pull the Ryan Berman string. I always say, if you're stuck, if you're scared, if you're playing it safe, that's where I want to be useful. And a lot of the things that I learned, which are education components, are nestled in the vessel of entertainment, which is another reason why I think we probably, again, I always root for you. It's easy to root for you, but like, what's your go-to when like, oh, I'm going to play this card because I know it always gets a laugh. Do you have like let me win over the audience here with a boom.
Self-deprecation, baby.
Take
So
myself down.
yeah, it's the
Easy money.
everybody wants a performer. Again, I just do the things that I want to see and that I like and that I think are cool. And anytime I see a performer who is kind of like, this is all a sham, I'm like, I like that. That's funny. Like, I'm into that. And so it's not like natural, it's not a natural process of emulation where I'm like referencing that specific interview or that specific performer, but it's what feels natural in the moment, right? And I think everybody wants to feel that they want to feel connected, right? And I think, for example, why one of the biggest stars in America is like Guy Fieri, because he's just like your neighbor
Right.
and every other guy in San Diego. That was a jab. Nice little jab. But here's the thing. I think Guy Fieri rules. I think he's awesome. I think he's cracked the code. And he seems like a really good guy and has officiated like hundreds of gay marriages, has donated tons of money, is always involved in philanthropy, uses his platform for good, and he doesn't take himself too seriously. You know what I mean? And people are like, that guy rules. And now he's made it into, the post irony and the irony subcultures that are like, yeah, he fucking rules. Like, everyone likes Guy Fieri, the nerds, the losers, the jocks, the smart people, the dumb people. Like, he's made it. And I think he's done it by being himself and having a formula that no one else thought would work. And he was just like, I think it'll work. I'm gonna wear flame shirts. I'm gonna have, bleach blonde hair and big earrings and go eat fucking huge hamburgers.
I have a hard time now not seeing him though in flip flops, which kind of is concerning to me.
I'm not a flip flop guy.
I
Does he
didn't
wear
see.
flip flops?
No, I don't think so. But now I
Oh.
can't not see him
Oh.
in flip flops because of the San Diego comment.
Oh, okay.
It seems off brand, but it's funny though. Like some people, and maybe this is okay to just to admit that everyone's different, but there's like a Joe Montana quote that you have to be willing to go die for it. Okay, you want to have fun, but are you willing to, at all costs, have fun? Like, is it the same idea but just said differently?
I think Joe Montana's quote sounds a little bit hedonistic to me. And I am more of an Epicurean. philosophy.
Oh,
And so, hedonism, are you familiar with both of those?
no, tell me more.
Well, hedonism is pretty much like like fun is the priority above both your own health as well as the health and well-being of others.
Hmm.
Like it's like that is it. That is the goal, and you will die doing it, and you will, do bad things to people as well as yourself. Epicurean is one notch down, but it's like essentially it stops at harm. It means that you'll do like pleasure, but this is based on pleasure, not fun. I'm just replacing the
Yeah.
word pleasure with fun. Like hedonism is chasing pleasure at all costs. Epicureanism is pursuing pleasure as the priority, but not if it hurts you or hurts others around you. And so that's kind of where I land. And I land there in many places, whether it be food or drink or spending money. Any bad habit I have, there's always a line, right? There's a line to draw, but you're not going to catch me being like, ooh, I'm not going to eat a burger. If I want a burger, I'm getting a burger. And sometimes I might be like, I shouldn't have a burger because I already indulged in like a plate of pasta last night, and then I'll get a salad, but it's like it's balanced. You know what I mean? And it might tilt a little bit towards pleasure, but it's generally speaking, I'm not going to have a heart attack because I ate too many burgers.
How does this show up in your content? Do you think it takes or do you sort of acknowledge like, well, if the person doesn't get it, sorry, and let's keep doing what we do?
That it doesn't really come through in my content. It's more like a personal life philosophy, the Epicureanism thing. But in terms of like, you mean like audience reception?
Yeah.
I just let them have it. And if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. And I move on with my day. I used to be affected by the numbers, right? Like, and I would be very upset if a video performed poorly, or I rarely receive negative comments, thank God. I think I kind of like try to have a positive community around myself intentionally because I don't think I have the skin for negativity in the comments. Like this guy sucks. Not for me. But
Delete. Easy.
yeah, I mean,
Delete.
but here's the problem with delete. I have to read it, and once I read it, it's in my
Yeah.
body and my brain, and it's just gross, and it will ruin your day. But I pretty much, yeah, I have to free myself of using metrics. Of course, same thing as always. When a video pops off and gets 7 million views, I'm very fucking happy. But when a video does not pop off and gets 7,000 views, I'm not upset. I'm not equally as upset. I might be a little let down, but I'm not like as elated as
Well,
when it gets 7 million.
I'm curious what is the line between the emotional realities of that, because it's still real, right? Like you said, and I can objectively take myself out of the emotion and look and what can I learn from why this one only had 7,000 and this
Mhm.
one had bonkers gazillions. Do you do
Well,
that exercise?
I realize that it has nothing to do with the content because the reality is the platforms that I distribute on are so algorithmically driven and constantly changing and evolving that I could post a video today and it would go gangbusters, and then post the same video tomorrow, and just by the luck of the draw, it doesn't get picked up. And it has nothing to do with the content, because the reason I know is because I've released, 40 parts of Keep the Meter Running, and they're all good and they're all exactly the same. Some happen to do better than others, but it has nothing to do with me. And that's why I kind of had to like say, focus on the format, focus on what you're making, have fun doing it. The letdown happens, the kind of like cognitive dissonance is, which is an unfortunate part of my work because my videos or my content, they're all productions, right? And this is not to slam anyone that just shoots on iPhones. That's fine. And I'm sure they get the same disappointments. But for me, like doing an episode of Keep the Meter Running or Subway Takes, from shooting it to producing it to pre-producing it to post-producing it, it's a lot of fucking hours. You know what I mean? And it's not just me. I have two cameramen who also are editors and kind of help direct the series as well. And it's a lot of people's hours involved. So I want as many people as possible to see it. And
Right.
same with the music, right? So it's this thing where that's where the disappointment comes from. It's not an ego thing. It's not like, oh, I didn't get 7 million views. I suck at my job. It's, oh, this didn't get 7 million views. I'm sad because I spent 25 hours on it, you
Yeah.
know, and I
Yeah.
wanted people to see it. So it's less of an ego driven thing at this point because I know that what I'm doing is good.
Well, I also think personally that, I mean, the way I look at some of the platforms now, like Instagram, even LinkedIn, because LinkedIn doesn't, you probably could care less, but I do from a business standpoint. It's almost like so Instagram, my stories is now the advertising, but my feed, like when you actually look at my feed, that's the resume. So even those 7,000 versus 7 million pieces of content, when someone finally discovers you or stumbles into you, and then they come into the rabbit hole of Kareem, like there's still joy that they're going through all that content,
Hmm.
and they're loving you, and that's where the relationship is probably being formed. So,
Yeah.
this is optimism is my number one value. So but I truly believe that. I truly believe that it isn't all for naught, and we should be bummed. All right, let's play a quick game. So we're gonna play scale of 1 to 10. What are you? And it's rapid fire. Don't overthink it. So like 1, you're like definitely not. 10, you're like duh. Yeah. So we'll start easy. Comedian,
10,
musician,
8,
entrepreneur,
9,
observationalist,
7,
philanthropist,
3, lacking,
philanthropist. No I'm kidding. Activist.
6.
Give me more on that one.
I was in Minneapolis during the Black Lives Matter protests, of in honor of George Floyd's murder, and Minneapolis is my hometown. I happened to be in Minneapolis at the time, and I pretty much dedicated my entire 3 months to like that's all I did. I didn't do anything else. There was zero other things happening. I know that that's a long time ago now, which is crazy, and I don't know how to describe it. I guess it's a feeling, and I do what I can, and it's not just. I actually I'm anti Instagram activist. I don't like that. I really don't like that.
Yeah.
So for me, it's about showing up, getting involved.
Realness.
Yeah, it and sure it helps a little bit, but like I have a liberal bubble following me. I don't really need to like I just don't need to add to it. So I try to do things that are actually going to have some sort of effect, whether it means be involved in person or put money down. Try to do actions that have an impact. Like I just feel like the Instagram share is like the laziest form of activism,
Yeah.
and unless you're like creating an entire page dedicated to like information sharing and knowledge and putting in the work, I just don't find it super helpful to like share a post. So that's why I say 6. I could be better at that. And philanthropist too. I mean, I guess it depends on what you mean, right? Like, do I give it all as much money as I can? 100%. Is it enough? I don't know.
I mean, just in the spirit of calling it out, like, how does fun show up in the activist stuff?
I think that one's less fun.
Yeah, I
But
would say,
it,
yeah.
yeah, I think that's less fun, but it is like fun to be involved. It's not like I'm having fun, but it makes me feel alive and part of the community and part of a movement and part of a thing that's bigger than myself. So in that regard, it is fun to meet new people and to like feel like you're making a change. But yeah, it's not like that's my priority. If I'm gonna be protesting or getting arrested, it's not necessarily because I want to have fun.
All right, let's keep playing the game. Teacher,
5,
mentor.
7.
Tell me more about that.
I've got this whole kind of like horizontal mentorship, horizontal, I don't want to call it networking because I don't like that word, but horizontal collaboration is what I call it. And I don't remember. I picked it up from a book. I don't remember. I think again, maybe the Duplass brothers. But it's really about mentoring and menteeing with people in your peer group rather than trying to find someone above you in a philosophical manner. So I'm not saying someone older than you. I'm saying someone at a position that's further than you. So I am mentored by 22-year-old kids who are amazing at making content, and I consider them my mentors, but they're also my peers. And I think that they receive mentorship in a different kind of way, just because with age, I have a little bit of wisdom. So it's this I'm not a part of any mentorship programs, but I do know that there are people around me that consider me a mentor and have told me that, but it's like not in an official capacity.
Mhm.
And I think I prefer this kind of like, because you know what? Those people are my friends. Like they're just literally my friends. Friends first, mentor second, or friends first, mentee second. And I find that those naturally evolving relationships are more um beneficial over time
Yeah.
rather than like signing up for some sort of program.
I mean, I think that's sort of also the intent of the game, right? Like you're all those things in different ways. They're just dials, right? Like I had two more I wanted to ask. One is kind of, I mean, I'll just call it out. Janitor.
10.
Yeah, it sucks, right? You got to clean up all your shit all the time.
Yeah, cleaning up, putting together. I'm more of like a super or like a handyman.
Uh, philosopher.
That one's a give it an 8.
Yeah, it's got to be up there, right? Like, do you put aside think time, or are you just? It's just impossible not to do it because New York City is such a great area. You're on your bike. You got people don't get that New York. It's not about the A to B or the A and B. It's about the two. It's the two, right? It's not the A. It's like the two part on the way where the good shit really happens, and you're like, oh, I better write that down. Oh my
Hmm.
god, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it's the same as like having shower thoughts. For me, my downtime is usually in transit, whether it's walking. I like to walk a lot too. And sometimes I take long meandering walks to nowhere, or the bike rides. I'm gonna bike into the city after this. I'm sure I'll have some time to think about whatever I want to think about. But it's not necessarily put aside to think. Although every once in a while, actually probably every day, I end up laying on my couch for at least like 15, 20 minutes and just hanging out, listening to music.
What's your extraction meets? Like, how do you make sure? Are you just writing shit down? Are you on your phone? What's your go-to for taking notes?
Mostly just my notes app.
Me
Yeah,
too.
I do notes app or voice notes. I was doing voice notes for a while and I actually preferred it, and then I fell out of the habit and now I'm doing notes again. But voice notes is great. The problem is they get a lot like you got to listen to them, whereas the notes app, it's all like perfectly like I have stand-up ideas, TV show ideas, movie ideas, music ideas, to-do list, and they're all in separate notes and they're
Yeah.
all always evolving and nothing ever gets deleted. It's like a record of my thoughts.
If you were me and the roles were reversed, what question would you ask you, knowing that the title of the show is The Courageous Podcast?
How do you find the time to do it all? I just
Yeah.
get I get that question a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
But it's just who you are.
Yeah, that's kind of what I say. And I also think it's because I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Like I want to do it. And you know what? When I don't want to do it, I don't really. And that's not even a lie. Like, I really like, I'm a stand-up comedian. I do shows. I've been asked the past 5 or 6. I've been asked recently, like 5 or 6 times, to come do somebody else's show, and I respectfully, say that I'm not really doing stand up right now, and it's because I don't feel like it, unfortunately, and that happens, and there will be another time where I'm like, I really got to get on a stage. But right now, I feel tapped out. But I think that's important to learn. That's like a skill to learn, is saying now, because and not feeling obligated. Of course, I could get more stage time. Of course, I could become a better stand up. But like right now, at this exact moment, I just don't want to do it. Like I really don't want to do it. So, and I'm not even going. I don't go too deep on why I don't want to do it. Am I anxious? Do I not want to write jokes? Do I feel overworked? I don't know. And I also don't really care because I know that in a couple of months, I'll feel like doing it again, or I'll never get the feeling back. And that means that it's over.
I think you know this, but I love you.
Oh, I love you.
You know,
Thank you so much.
I like, I'll always be on your side and like an ally, and I don't need to be, you know, maybe next time you come to San Diego, I can tell you which party to go to, but I'll always root for you. And like, I'm curious, as you think about the listener to a show like this, who hopefully they're entertained and they're having fun, but we might be on like a walk with them or in their car with them, and you're going for it. Like, what do you want to leave them with? Like, do you like what sort of what's your sort of like, hey, if you remember anything from this conversation, I hope you take X, or maybe something you haven't said yet that you want to say.
I think, dear listener, this is Kareem Rahma speaking directly into your ears. I just want you to remember that even if your ideas don't hit, if you have enough conviction in yourself, they'll hit for you. And that is what's important. But I also understand that you want to make an impact outside of your world. But this is now rambling. One time, my therapist told me, which I don't have a therapist anymore, but I was in therapy for at least 5 years. I was like, I want to be famous like Robin Williams. And she was like, well, maybe you have to start by being the Robin Williams of your friends and to your family and the people around you, and just get the feeling that you're trying to get from those people first, until you can get to the bigger ones. But that was helpful for me, as I was like, I'll just act like Robin Williams, I'll be the Robin Williams of my group. And it worked. So it was a nice temporary fix.
Scale 1 to 10. Where are you on the therapist?
Like, what do you mean? Just 1
Same
to 10?
question. Philosopher. Yeah. Therapist.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
I'm bad at it.
2.
3.
So basically, you just said what you just said. We shouldn't take your advice.
No, I mean, I'm not good at it because I'm kind of like, go figure it out.
Oh, got it.
I care, but I hear so many people complaining about so many things. And I'm like,
Totally.
dude, this is so stupid. Like, it sounds like it's your fault. And I'm not a therapist. So I'll give advice, but most of my advice is very, like, I'm a hard ass with it, because generally speak, if somebody's like, hey, I'm really having a tough time with this XYZ, and I can tell that they're really making an effort, 100% I'll be the therapist. I guess in my peer group, I'm like, I hate complainers, and I have a lot of complainers. I have a lot of complainers around me.
Well, it can make sense. I mean, it makes sense. It make like when I see people having a loop in their brain as a current, guy that wants you to go for it, and it's like, well, we just had this conversation a week ago. You're saying the same thing differently. You're still not jumping. You're still not leaping. You're still. I that's where I
Right,
have a hard
exactly.
time. Right, and your whole thing is you got to put yourself out there and have a process to it. Right. And it's like, that's your logic. That's my logic.
Yeah.
Right. All right. The most courageous thing you've got planned in the next 3 years.
In the next 3 years, I don't plan that far out.
In the next 3 months.
All right. My girlfriend and I are going to fly to Cairo, where my grandmother lives. She's going to meet my grandma. And then we're flying her grandmother from Russia to meet us in Cairo because neither of them can go to Russia and the grandma can't come here. So we're just going to meet up in Egypt where my family lives. And I think it's not really courageous, but it's fun. And
Yeah.
there's like a lot of like moving parts, but it sounds like a lot of work.
Will you keep the meter running for that? Because that's a damn expensive meter, my man.
It's too expensive of a meter. It's already been expensive to get over there. So I think once I get there, meters turn it off. We're not.
All right, last question, and then I'll give you your life back. Like the creator in me wants to be like, well, obviously you have to document all that, but then where's the line on like, wait, can't I just have this pure moment where, you know? So do you fight that in yourself?
I have a very, very, very strong separation between my personal life and my professional life, and it has not been a problem for me, and literally didn't even have a single thought about doing anything surrounding the trip. It's not even in my brain. And it's because I like, I'm a person and I want to live, and I don't want to be thinking about producing. I don't want to be thinking about working. And I know a lot of other people that would document it and make something out of it, but like for me, that's my sacred time and my precious time. And yeah, I have a very separate kind of like situation going on with my Kareem the guy that lives a life and Kareem the performer. And I don't really mix them.
Great to see you, my man. Thank you for
Thank you
coming
so
on the
much.
show. You're a badass. Keep doing what you're doing. Let's get you, like, let's see here. Instagram says, what the hell, 199,000? We can't get to 200,000? What's going on?
Dude, I've been stuck at 199 for literally a month.
Can't we just buy some bots? Where's AI? Hey, ChatGPT.
You have no idea how much the 199 is bothering me, and not even like because of any other reason other than 199 is so close. It's just like it will look better when it says 200, and that's the thing that's bothering you. You already know. You even noticed. The
Oh, I know.
199, it's pissing me off, but not because
Absolutely.
I'm like I need the followers, but because 200 will look nice. 199 is not appealing. It's not phonetically appealing.
Remember, I forget what movie it was. Was it where Newman's like, like that's what it
Oh,
feels like to me.
It's Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. It's like, not 200,000.
That's what they're doing to me. It's been like that for like a month, and I'm like, God, and it grows. I think they're doing it on purpose.
Well, maybe this will get you over the hump with my massive following. People
Dude, get me over the hump.
Go follow Kareem at, it's just Kareem, right?
It's just Kareem, yeah. At
Not-
Kareem.
not
With two
just
E's. No.
At Kareem, not just Kareem, at Kareem. Go follow him. Let's get him over the hump. Go keep doing what you're doing, brother. Be good.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Courageous Podcast. If you enjoy the show, don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts so more people can find us. See you again next week.